Perfect. Okay, let's just keep it casual. Let's just have a light conversation, so we can talk, so people can listen, then they also can ask questions, and I can answer them along the way while I'm drawing. Perfect. Right. Perfect. Because I live in Asia, right, and I'm not from here, obviously, and because everything's, I like to get inspiration from exotic culture, which is why I'm here, because everything seems so new to me, and then I feel like not really overwhelmed, but always excited. So that's why I get inspiration from the people features. That's why if you look at my artworks, most of the time it's the Asian faces, because that's what most Asian features, Asian people, also Asian architecture at the same time, Philippine architecture or Chinese or Korean, like this kind of stuff. That's my main source of inspiration. But if it's not too direct, I also get inspiration from anywhere, like from music, from the movies, from the travels, a lot from travels actually. Even friends, can be anywhere. Sometimes even from the dreams. I'm trying hard to remember my dreams every time I wake up. So I would have something to imagine later, or maybe use it in my artworks. Sometimes it works.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So you're a very well-traveled man, I see. So now that I know what gets you inspired, and what gets you producing art, right? How do you start a piece of work? How do you start artwork?
Right. Usually I get, again, I need to start from at some point. I would rather listen to some music or watch the movie, or even some music videos actually I like, or some fashion films. There are a lot too. And then I start to do, not for, I mean, it's not without thinking, but I start some gesture drawings, like what's in my mind, and I'm trying to express myself. And after that, I get to the point when I already see something, my idea becomes more clear, and then I start to work with it.
So you mentioned gesture drawings. Can you tell us quickly what that is?
Sure, gesture drawing is like a very dynamic lines. It's motion. It's rather how it feels, not how it looks. So if I can say it's not the construction, it's not the anatomy, and then what do you see? What do you experience when you look at something? Can be like human. Usually, it's a human figure. Yeah, most of the time, it's like you can from a couple of lines like this one line, maybe the head, and then something else here, and then you can imagine already like there's someone like a person jump into the pool, right? There is no details, there is no anatomy, but it's like an emotion. But it can be also in nature, it can be in landscapes, so it's very dynamic lines, and to express certain emotion.
So now, related to what you're painting for us right now, right? And I can see someone wearing a jacket, of course. And
Yeah.
of course, this isn't. I don't think I can see any motion here yet, or unless, of course, you're going to be none yet.
Yeah.
But I can kind of already see the pose here. So my next question actually here is, what kind of composition do you use? This is shaping up to be very interesting looking. I think you mentioned that you are inspired by Asians, by everything Asian, and it looks like you're painting an Asian person here.
It's already showing, right? From the eyes. I know. Uh, the question about the composition, right? It's really wide, because composition takes kind of maybe like 3 hours to teach. So I think approaches, different artists, they have different really approaches for the composition. But of course, yeah, you have your favorites, or you have like the least favorites, or the one you wouldn't really use. In my case, I usually like to use the golden ratio, which comes from Renaissance period. The You can Google it. And then also another one is perfect thirds. It really works well, especially if you build the composition And if it's not dynamic, it's more static, like the one I'm doing now. It's based on the perfect thirds and a little bit, also a little bit of the golden. But of course, I don't really measure it precisely because I like to rely on my feeling or like on my memories. But of course, if you have a goal to measure it, you can also paint or draw or create something by just really being so precise. But it's not my approach.
I see. I see. So, from our viewers, are there any questions? Do we have any questions for Arthur right now?
I'm doing some little tricks just to save time because I could draw it nicely and more precise, but then we have really limited time, so I have to jump from step to the step quickly.
Okay, I saw that. That actually was pretty cool. So that's how you solve. That's how you digitally solve the problem of people who don't draw eyes and they tend to not look the same.
It's not symmetrical, right? Sometimes it's so annoying when you draw one eye, it's so beautiful, and the other one is so ugly. So that's one of the tricks. Look at this technologies now with Photoshop or with tablets like WACOM. You can just really do lots of tricks just to save time and your emotional health, because sometimes it's really annoying. Okay, I already can hear some questions. Skype, so Ronan, you can ask me. I didn't know it's going to be that kind of difficult to draw and then talk at the same time, but I'll try my best.
Okay, so yeah, we actually do have a question from Algero Grape or Algero Grape. I'm sorry if I am not if I got your name wrong, but I promise I'm going to get your question right though. Arthur, can you give some tips for aspiring artists that still don't have any experience?
For sure. Yeah. Because I really love to talk to artists who have so much motivation, but without experience yet, because you can discover the talent, you can direct them. That's really my favorite part of teaching. That's why I decided to do it. But my first advice would be just keep learning a lot. There are so many platforms now, especially it's all free now. Like in all this, even Harvard University offering the free courses. Lots of YouTube tutorials. Just really learn from the best, learn from the masters, and keep experimenting with the styles until you find yours. Well, not even. I wouldn't really say until you find yours, because even if you find yours, you have to still look for improvement. The main advice would be, and then of course, if you want to be an artist, doesn't really matter what kind of art you want to create. You have to really go through the fundamentals. Like you have to start with the anatomy, perhaps, if you want to be a realistic artist. Draw a realistic art. Maybe the landscapes, of course, composition, the color science, and stuff like this. And don't really stick to one style, because you're gonna limit yourself. With comic art or with a stylized or realistic, you just have to be really open for creativity. Okay, I think I'm done with the sketch. Now, next thing I'm gonna do, well, it's different from now on, but just the sketch would be maybe enough for me. I'm already happy with the composition. I think the face would be here, the bird would be here. And later on, and we'll move it around, but for now, I think that's fine. So next thing I'm gonna do, I'm creating the new layer. Usually, I forgot to name them. First layer would be sketch, and another one would be color block. You can call it whatever you want, it's just for your own convenience. And then I'm gonna do another trick, just to save time. I'll pick a color, and I'm gonna paint it over, just to have like an undertone. Am I still seeing that? Because I can't really hear the audience, because it's like one side, it's more of monologue. My scene, right?
We can see you we can see what you're doing here. It's actually pretty interesting. I do have actually a question related to this. So, Arthur, how do you decide the color scheme for your paintings and for your artwork?
Okay, great question. Thank you. I think it's really kind of unique approach. I mean, every artist has his own technique. In my case, I usually, first of all, I have to think what I'm going to draw or paint, right? And then after that, try to eliminate unnecessary colors. So try to limit yourself with, let's say, I don't know, maybe 3, 6, 8 colors, I mean, main colors. And then from there on, you can play around with them. But of course, it depends on the mood, because this one I want to create kind of between warm and cold. So I'm going to use warm as the orangey, yellowish, reddish colors, and then to cold blue, violet, and purple colors.
Okay, so I have another question here from Alex Aves this time. And Alex's question is, how has your practice changed over time? So,
My practice,
yeah, your practice, I think your art style, and how does practice affect for example, does constantly practicing, does it change your art style? Do you become more technical? Do you become looser?
yeah, of course. Like more I draw, better it looks. Usually it's like that, which I try to avoid like a month or two. Sometimes it happens to like when I'm busy with something else or just like no inspiration. And that really affects, yeah, because you become less good. You're losing the skill, but of course, if you practice more, you're gonna remember that. It's like muscle memory and also mind memory as well.
So, if I can get this correct, a very good advice for our starting artists and actually even practicing artists right now would be to get your fundamentals down and uh, yeah, get your fundamentals down and keep on practicing them. As it so happens, everyone, I do know of a certain school, DEGAS, who actually does teach fundamentals and will allow you to practice it through a structured manner.
Yeah, I can definitely recommend the school because these guys they know all the fundamentals and then the right approach, and it's not just like one direction. It starts from traditional, shift to the digital, to become like really successful artists, not just one side artist.
Now that you did mention it, what do you think is are sorry, not just is, what do you think are the differences between traditional and digital arts? Because I have encountered people who swear that only traditional art is art, and there are some people who say that if you're not doing digital art, you're kind of left behind. I'd like to hear your opinion on this matter.
I would, well, depends really, depends on the artist. But in my case, since I do lots of traditional art, which is oil, I started from watercolor, then charcoal, then recently I'm doing oil. But I'm trying to keep the same pipeline for the art. As you see, I did sketch, then I did like a color blocking, and I'm gonna move to the only the dark shades, like the shadows, and then the lights. And it's the same technique as the traditional art. But that, I mean, that's how old masters did in Renaissance or after that too, same way. So for me, really no difference. It's really about more of the like extra tools because you can I mean, you can have these features like which is brilliant, like Control Z. It's like come go back, go forward in Photoshop, right, or in any other software.
Oh yeah.
And on the canvas, it would be a bit more trickier, more different. But to me, really, the approach is really the same. That's why, like, same way as I do in canvas or on paper or on the tablet, it's really the same. I'm just gonna explain because you asked me earlier about the color scheme, right? So that's my next thing to do. I'm gonna create a new layer, and then it's the same as traditional. I would have like a palette on my hand here, and I would mix the colors like from the tube and with the painting knife. So here I'm gonna do the same. Like for sure I'm gonna use the red color. I'll have 100%, and maybe orange, then slightly lighter orange. That's my palette, like the colors I'm gonna use, more of the skin color. And then from that's for the warm ones. Then probably I wanna try some yellow, but not too much. So I'll do this color, like more on beige. Then I mix this with that. So you see like a layer, like layer on top of one another. And then I have a mix of color. And then maybe I'll get this like lemon for some shades for the reflexes. Probably I'm gonna use it. Then I will try to get some green, but I think it's too bright, so I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of blue. So yeah, this color is more natural. Then I get the darker one. It's like between green and blue, and then I'll mix some blue with that. I'll get this blue violet, then take the green from here, and then layer in it to get like a mix between these colors. And then from violets, I'll dark ones, just like that. And then I mix. So those colors I'm gonna use. And then of course black maybe, but I have to be very careful, but it's just like really mostly for the details, black and white. So this is my palette, I'm gonna name it. Then on the new layer, which is the final, I'm gonna paint using most of these colors I already selected for myself, for my art. First, I'm gonna indicate the shadow. Get a different brush. Yeah.
You look pretty comfortable doing that, Arthur. Uh, can I ask you, what do you prefer? If I were to make you pick, would you prefer digital art or traditional art?
It's a tough choice. You know, I wouldn't really choose because, I mean, why to choose if you can do both, right?
That's right.
But as I said, just digital has more tools to use, I would say, because with digital you can do like game design, animation, digital illustration, mm, graphic design as well. With traditional, it's a bit more limited. Although in traditional, there's I mean, the value is higher, of course, because you can multiply things like masterpieces. That's why that's the difference. But I wouldn't choose because nah, I like both.
Actually, I kind of agree with your answer there. I think we're both on the same boat when I say that there's really no way that people are going to be able to get rid of traditional techniques and methods, because I also happen to believe that if we don't have those techniques and methods, and the learnings that we can get from there, if we don't get the solid fundamentals from there, I don't think that we'll actually be able to go very far with digital. Not I'm not saying that this is also the case for everyone, of course, but it's a lot easier, I think, to produce digital art when you already have the idea or the solid foundation to produce digital art. Yeah. Oh, we have another question here from WACOM Philippines. It's Jenny Monfero Boadilla. Her question
Yeah.
is, what kind of brushes do you usually use? Or does it matter what kind of brushes that you'll be using? Now, I know that definitely brush options and brush sizes and brush selection is very important in traditional, but does it also matter in digital? Asking for Jenny.
Of course, it matters a lot, but you don't really have to experiment so much on the beginning with the brushes. You can, I mean, I have lots of brushes here. You can like really see like thousands of brushes, but I don't use majority of them. I think it's only first 2, 3 layers. That's my favorite brushes, but it doesn't really matter. You can really draw pretty nice drawing or painting just with the circle or basic brushes or like with the standard brushes. It's really doesn't really matter so much. But I like, again, because of my approach, right? I like it traditional way. So I like to have brushes which are imitating the real brushes, like the charcoal or like a wet brush or even ink, like the splashes of the ink. So that's why I like these kind of brushes. These brushes actually I use. Like that, my favorite also. Or this one. Yeah, you're gonna see them through the process. I'm gonna use them.
That's cool. This you see, personally, and I'm also speaking to you, Jenny, and this is just me, of course. I'm a two brush kind of guy. I only have one round brush and I have one flat brush. And those are about the only ones that I use. Of course, I'm nowhere near the level of Arthur when it comes to artwork. I'm more of a painting shoes kind of guy. But yeah, like Arthur said, I have to echo that. Brushes, they are important, but it's not really the brushes that you're using, but rather how you can make them work for you. Did I say that correctly, Arthur?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. You can actually just draw with your fingers, or I mean, like really do some scribbling on the wood and make a masterpiece. It's really what's in your mind. It's not really what's in your hands first.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with the finger painting thing though. But of course, Jenny, just to really answer your question, I think that if you do have a one of our fine Wacom products here, then by all means, madam, play around with the brushes. There are no such things as mistakes, and there are no such things as you know errors when it comes to playing around and when it comes to art.
Absolutely. Along the way, I'm gonna change the shape. So I'm thinking maybe I should move a little bit the eye. So I also have a little trick. It's liquify. Just because I'm not so happy with the shape of the eyes, I'll just move it quicker.
Hello, that was tricky. I like what you did there.
It's really to save time. I mean, if I have more time, I would properly paint it over, but why not, right? See the difference.
Yeah, definitely. Why not? You see, for everyone who is tuned in, of course, what Arthur just did was use the liquify filter in Photoshop and move that around. I think everyone would be more familiar with liquify with the really bad Photoshop memes that we have. I may or may not have used it on some full body pictures of myself too. Not saying that I did. But yeah, I may know someone personally who did that. But yeah, moving on. We do have some other questions for you, Arthur. Joram Miko Claudio asks, what kind of equipment do you use to draw?
Okay, we're speaking about digital now, right? So
Yes.
I use Wacom, of course, Wacom because this are the pioneers. They're the best tablets. I mean, there are a lot in the market, but everybody, I mean, not even here in the Philippines, world, like all my friends, the graphic designers, the digital artists, we use Wacom because why not use the best one, right? So that's why. And currently I'm using Wacom One. It's pretty nice. So I mean, the perfect a little bit than A4 paper. It's very convenient. It's just almost plug and play, and yeah, it's just really about your creativity. But the tool is perfect already. So I don't even know if they can come better because I know they're gonna come up with something new. I'm excited to see and try it. But even the current one, they're already too good to be true.
Yeah, I agree. I actually have a Wacom Intuos Pro M here myself, and never in my wildest dreams did I actually think that I would see something like the one until they told me about Wacom paper, which I think our partners from Wacom will be talking about a little bit later on after the live painting session. But yeah, for equipment, I definitely also would recommend, if we're talking about digital, of course, I would recommend Wacom because it is the best tablet there is on the market right now. And for hardware, now I'll be speaking, of course. I'll be answering that question for you, Joram. For the hardware for the computer, we're partnered with MSI, and we're mentioning them not because they gave us shirts, but because from my experience as a 3D artist with Autodesk, the computers that really worked very well for me, laptops, MSI. I know that it might be a little cliche, but I'm telling you now that I used just about every computer there is for 3D work, MSI is the one that worked the best for me, especially with the weight factor. I used to carry around mobile workstations, and if you've ever encountered mobile workstations, we're talking about computers that are basically somewhere in the vicinity of 30 kilograms, and then you have to carry that around in a backpack, right? So good luck running around or walking around with that. And then you have to commute. Uh, my life was changed when I was finally issued an MSI computer. Okay, so it had all of the raw power that I needed. It had, and it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful for me. So the next question is from VC, and her question I think you've already answered, but VC just wants to ask it anyway. What product or gadget are you using right now?
Okay, again, I'm using WACOM One. That's the one of the best tablets I ever tried. Well, the best actually. That's for the device, right? That's the one I'm drawing on. That's the one you see now on the stream. And then I use my laptop now. It's MSI Modern 14 A10RB. It's so thin, so small, so light, and pretty powerful because this laptop is made for gamers. I mean, no wonder it really looks like, I mean, it really works like that. It's really fast with the RAM and all the characteristics, really pretty good.
So the next question here actually is moving away. They were asking about hardware. Now, the question from Adriel Arian Omboy is for you. Does software
Yeah.
matter?
Not really.
Not really. I mean, it's the same thing. Of course, I don't know if we should advertise it or not, but one of the most useful one is the one I'm using. I mean, the one you see now, right? It's in stream and also PS. But there are also other apps, and they really do a good job at the same time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But if you want to use the best one, you see what I'm using now. I think that's the best so far.
Yeah, I agree. To add to that, Adriel, yeah, it's not really the software. It's more of the artist and the amount of practice you put into it. The next question is from Ven. Ven is fancy. Ven only has one name. Uh, how do you choose your color blends, Arthur?
Okay, there's another trick I like to do is to get nice reference, can be picture, usually the photography, uh, in internet, or also like from some landscape or just any picture you like in internet, at least. And then go to your filters here. Then you can find the option of make it mosaic. And then from there, you have like a pixelated picture. Basically, it simplifies all the colors. It minimizes all the shades. And then those colors you can just really use and then drag and drop to your palette. That helps a lot too. But sometimes if I want to skip this step, just go and like create the palette in my head, and I'm gonna play around. If I know I'm gonna play around with the cold, I'm gonna use like blue, green colors, violet, and then to complement them with warms, probably it would be opposite colors, which is like orangey, yellowish. Sometimes I like to do monochromatic, which is black and white and grays. Maybe include one color just to make it more interesting, or maybe like some accent. Really depends on the draw.
I see. So it really does. Well, in a nutshell, Ven, it all depends on how you draw and what you are going to draw and what the reference is. Now, just to tell everyone again who is tuned in and are asking these questions, of course, one of the partners and one of the people who are bringing you the stream right now, of course, is DEGAS, the Digital Entertainment and Gaming Art School. Please visit our page, DEGAS PH. We are on Facebook and we are also on Instagram, but please do feel free to ask us. We actually do have these as part of our modules for instruction. So if you want to learn more and if you actually want to get an in-depth training or exposure to these sorts of learnings, and if you have other questions like these, of course, you can also ask them in detail from us, and we'd be more than happy to help you out. Okay, so our friend Adriel Arian Omboy has a follow-up question. The follow-up question is, which is also better, graphic display tablet or just the pen tablet?
Well, I think better, of course, with the display because you see really what you create, and then it's gonna help you to appreciate it better and then work faster. But I've seen lots of artists just working with a simple tablet, and it's creating the amazing results too.
So it's more a case of how used you are, I guess, to getting your hand-eye coordination. Because of course we're used to. The next question is, okay. No name from our from our viewer, of course, but the question is, hi. I would just like to ask if you have ever tried doing digital art commissions. If yes, do you have any tips, and how was the experience? Oh, I think this one is right up your alley, Arthur, because you do a lot of portraits short.
Yeah, true, true. But I do them in traditional way usually. But it doesn't matter again. Okay, for the digital, yeah, I did, of course. Like last year, I had really nice collaboration with the local brand. It's called S107. So I was asked to create a print for the new collection of the clothes. It was over airports, like in Cebu, in Palawan, and also, of course, in Manila too. So I had to create all this tropical plants, trees, and animals. It was actually nice. I had to create around 7 pieces. Really nice. They use it on tank tops, on the shirts, on the bags, and bandanas. Really, really great experience. What tips would I do? Just like try to register on different platforms for the artist. I think like at least one, and then just keep promoting yourself. And also Instagram works. I mean, makes the job easier. Just get discovered by potential clients. Just join the communities of our artists and keep working on your portfolio.
Yeah, I agree with what you said there, especially the latter part. For the experience of creating, it doesn't matter if it's digital or traditional. If you're starting out as an artist and you're selling your artwork, and believe me, you should be selling your artwork, everyone, because you're very talented people. I am telling you now. It's not really a matter of talent, but rather a matter of surprise, surprise exposure. So just keep on plugging away, just keep on making the work, just keep on making artwork, just keep on posting it, sharing it, and eventually you will get there.
Absolutely.
So I can notice now, Arthur, that you're kind of already starting the highlights, right? Is this what are your I'm guessing this happens to be one of the tips that I think you mentioned earlier is that you have to be very aware of your light. So how do you look for light, and how do you translate it to your painting?
Okay, I usually keep repeating this to my students or to anyone who is asking about the advice. Just that's a really nice phrase, and I, not even for the art, but just what I really in life. Just I say, follow the light. So you have to really see where the light is coming from and where it falls. So like in this picture, my light is coming from here. I'm gonna draw it there. So meaning this part gonna be in light, and this part gonna be in shadow. I'll make it darker now so you can see. So this part is going to be in shadow there. So I have to really follow it. So the big shadows would be here and also here and also under the nose and under the lips. And then of course later on under the chin. So those are the shadows. And then the lights would be, I'll draw it here quickly, but much more simplified of course. Here, here, side of the nose, and up with the lips, here, and also a little bit on the chin. And then also on the hair. So those are the lights. And if you're trying to follow those, it's gonna make your life much easier. Simple steps.
Yeah, I actually do something very similar, and it gets even sillier. But when I start drawing, I actually do draw a little sun somewhere on my drawing, just so I always have that as as a reference point of where my light is coming from. So all I have to do now is look for that little circle with the rays of light. Of course, that it all gets erased later on, but I just look for that, and I'm always guided by where the light is coming from and where the shadows will be falling.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And if you notice, I'm trying not to fix the eyes because I mean, symmetrical faces are not actually appealing. So it's better if the face is a little bit unsymmetrical. So that's my intention, to keep the eyes a little bit different, because I mean, there are lots of experiments. You can also Google it on the symmetrical faces. And then if you're trying to, you take a picture of the face and then you cut and then try to mirror it, it looks so ugly because there is no perfect symmetry in nature. So that's why you have to also keep.
Okay, here's a technical question that is, this is a pretty unique one. From Corinne Gelamay Villegas. She asks, how do you choose the resolution for your canvas? That's actually a good question, Corinne. Even I have difficulty here. Sometimes I switch between inches and then I go to pixels. How about you, Arthur? How do you choose your resolution?
Well, depends
Well, it depends
what
what
it's
it's
going
going
to
to
be
be
used
used for. If I know, because I also do fashion photography, if I know it's going to be printed on the big size, like the billboard or even on the magazine, there is certain specs. But for the digital art, I try to have it like around 200 pixels. I mean, sorry, yeah, the pixels. But really depends. You have to. Usually, I'm not so particular with the numbers. I just have a canvas size, and then I try the brush, and if I see it's too pixelated, I just make it bigger. But of course, if I have, let's say, client, they usually provide all these numbers which they need, and then you just follow those.
Okay. So there's actually a pretty healthy discussion going on in the comments section here with regards to resolution picking, and looks like and again, everyone, there are no wrong answers when it comes to these things. There are only a lot of techniques, and there are
Yeah,
about as many.
usually,
right?
right?
But depends
But
really
depends really what you're going to use it for. Sometimes 72 is not enough. So.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and
Oh,
that's what everyone
Computer.
agrees on.
That's in computer as well, because if it's too weak, you better stick to something lighter. And if you know you're not going to print it on a big size.
Yeah. So I have another question here, and this one is from Rin Chan. And Rin Chan is asking specifically, do you have any tips for artists who want to start freelancing and artists who want to start taking commissions?
Same as I said, just register on the platforms like ArtStation or others, and then keep working on your portfolio, and then keep sending your portfolios or CVs to the companies or to the potential clients, and then develop your social media, because now it's the age, especially now during the situation, everything is being slightly adjusted, right? So there is really the big effort going on around like Instagram. So just really build your presence there. I mean, not like your silly pictures or maybe like something like some content without thinking. If you want to position yourself as an artist, you have to really put the right content there. So if you want to be found as an artist, just promote yourself as an artist. In my case, it's a bit different. If you look at my social media and my Instagram, it's a little bit different because I do a lot of stuff and then doesn't really apply that way. But I also created my art account, so people would be easier for them to find it.
Yeah, always be marketing yourself with what you're doing. Yeah, I learned that the hard way once upon a time. Don't don't ask. But another related question here is again our friend Adrian Aryan Omboy is asking, how do we price our artworks? And this is actually again a very good follow up question. How do you price artworks, and what are the price ranges for artworks that one makes? How do you price yourself?
Okay, this is very unique, not unique, but I mean personal question because it's really difficult. And then, but I think if you don't know how to start, you have to really think of how much time you spend on it. I mean, if you don't have a name yet, and then how much money would you like to earn from, like, let's say, hour of your work, and then also you have to include how much money you spend on your materials. Let's say if it's traditional art, like on canvas, on oil, on the palettes, on the brushes, or if it's digital, like for your tablets or even for Wi-Fi, and then you compute the price you'd like to get. I'm not necessarily going to get this kind of payment, but at least you have something to start on. And of course, yeah, of course, you have to check the value on the market. You know, when I didn't know like how to price one of the things I was doing, I just Google it, and then how much, like let's say for digital illustration for this or that, and then Google gives an answer, and then you just really adjust it to yourself or adjust it to the place where you live. But there is no like menu like in restaurant, you know. It's very unique, and it really depends if you have name or not yet, or if you're well-known artist or established artist or beginner.
Well, I must agree with you there, Arthur. And in fact, this is from my experience, of course. When I do my custom work, like I mentioned, I paint shoes and I also paint a lot of other stuff like gloves, for example. And the question will always be when someone asks how much it will cost them, right, for you to customize something that they own, and you tell them I always factor in my raw materials. I always factor in the time that I'm spending, and I actually what I do here is I base it off on, for example, what how much would I be making if I were working a desk job, for example,
Yeah.
if I were working on something, and I base it off there. I divide, for example, the baseline salary for that job and divide it by, let's say, 8 hours, and then multiply that by how much time I spend, and that's usually how I will quote my price. And the weird thing here is that some people will always say that, oh, it's a little too much for me. And, don't worry about that. I'm pretty sure that it's pretty frustrating, to be honest. And I'm pretty sure that somebody's going to be asking this next. So I'm going to head it off and say that it's frustrating, I know. But like Arthur said, if you already have a name, you'll be commanding a lot more and people will be more than willing to pay. But that's not to say that you are not a good artist. That's not to say that your work isn't worth what you are quoting or the price that you are setting. It's just that, you know, the person who was asking you had a value in mind. And this is where negotiation comes in. Usually don't go lower than, say, 80, 75% of your usual rate. And by the way, even if you do give discounts like that, do not give it all the time.
Of
That's
Of
course, yeah,
course, yeah,
don't
don't
people use it,
people use
but
it. But I would also like to add something, which sometimes stops me at some conversations with clients. Mention that not everything about money, because sometimes there are projects where you have to really work for free, and then that's fine because you just have to really know why do you do this. I mean, what's the goal, and then how it's going to be beneficial for you. Because well, you cannot earn all the money in the world, right? But experience sometimes is more valuable. So if it's a really interesting project or if it's going to be good for you, so why not? I mean, I'm saying if you don't have a name yet, then you just also need to build your portfolio.
Yes, I agree with that. Sometimes the best way to build your portfolio and your rep is to give pro bono or free services to the right, to the correct, to the deserving clients. And
Yeah.
like Arthur said, you can't earn all of the money in the world, but the value ultimately rests with you as the artist. So I have another question here from Ken Fauli, and the question is are you working on RGB mode or CMYK mode?
Okay, yeah, at the moment I'm working on RGB because that's the one I'm more comfortable with. But because I'm not planning to print it out, that's why I'm using RGB.
Yeah, yeah. If I may add to that, Ken, and everyone else who probably had this question, whenever you're working with digital and you're using a digital display, okay, whenever you're working digital art and you're using a monitor, for example, or the Wacom one's display, you should always be working on RGB. Okay, because CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, black. That's actually for the additive colors for when it comes to printing. Whereas RGB
Yeah.
color mode is for digital displays because it is using red, green, and blue, the diodes that are being used, or the what do you call that? I'm not sure it's diodes. I think it's a photo something or other that is used for displays, and it's always going to be that. If you work on RGB, however, and you can always work on RGB digitally, even if it is for print. So what happens now? Do I work on CMYK? No. You work in RGB and then you switch it over to CMYK mode to check what it's going to look like once it's printed out. So a very good example for me when I pick out my colors for RGB to CMYK, right? Because I love picking out random colors. Is that when I'm looking at the color palette and I'm looking at the color picker, there's this helpful little triangle with an exclamation point in the middle. And if there's an exclamation point in the middle, that means that the color is going to translate very well for RGB because you can show just about every color on RGB on the digital display, but for CMYK, it might not work. So you want to tend to work towards colors that do not have that triangle with the exclamation point in the middle. But that's just. Next question is from Jem Salau Perez. And the question is, what are your recommended sites for artists to upload their art for portfolios? And what do you use personally?
Well, okay, I would recommend. I think I already mentioned it the third time, but we're not promoting them anyway. But I think that's the best website for the artists. I think there are also others, but I personally don't really check them out. But in my case, I only use, honestly, I just use my social media, which is Instagram and Facebook, and also YouTube as well. So actually, I will use this time. So guys, please follow me and check out my works. I try to constantly post my works there in Instagram, which is the Arthur TS official, and same in my Facebook too. I have page for my photography where I post my photography and art at the same time, and also design works.
So that's right, everyone. You can actually go ahead and, well, you can wait for him to finish, right? But you can actually go ahead and look for Arthur's social media pages on Facebook and on Instagram. He has a lot of content, and he also happens to be one of the gabais, actually, one of the consultative gabais for DEGAS, which is actually, yeah, which is actually why he's helping us out here in Ping. So, oh, you're welcome, Ken. If you have any questions, by the way, guys, everyone, just type your questions. No question. We do not consider any questions too silly. We do not question any we do not consider any questions as off topic unless, well, well, yeah, as long as it has something to do with art, by the way, uh, and being an artist and working as one and how it is to live as an artist. So keep on asking the questions. We love to interact with people. We love to interact with viewers, and people who want to learn more are more than welcome to ask. I actually do have another question here because I like stirring the pot and I like adding controversy. Uh, what's your favorite medium, Arthur?
My favorite medium is lately. Well, it's changing all the time because I keep experimenting, as I said, and I think that's the right way to live life. But my favorite would be oil, oil, because it's really challenging. It's not easy thing to do, but that's what I like the most. And of course, second would be sketching in digital because of all the possibilities it gives you, like with all this, with all the filters, brushes, layers.
So you can see that 1 hour in, we already have a fairly nice looking painting here, and it's quick. If Arthur makes it look easy, that's because he has had a lot of practice. He's constantly practicing with a lot of media, and he's never resting on just one style, and he's never comfortably settling on just one method of creating art. And like he said earlier, and I must echo this, that is very important. You must always be practicing, practicing, practicing. Okay, from Algero Grape or Algero Grape. Again, I am so sorry if I'm saying your name correctly. And this question is actually directed for me. Does DEGAS offer a short-term course? Well, yes and no. It all depends on what you want to learn. If you were to get my recommendation, I always want people to get comfortable with the fundamentals. So that one is definitely not short term, but don't worry, it's not going to be the way that we're set up is that you're not going to be spending several hours per day just sitting with a gabay or a teacher. But we call our teachers gabays, by the way, because they're not just teachers. They're also going to be your mentors. Okay, they're going to guide you. Hence the term. So you're not going to be sitting for hours per day with a gabay for several days per week, right? We in Degas, we believe that when it comes to learning art and learning specific techniques, it's easiest for you and it's most effective for you as a student to see how the gabay does it, to give you the underlying technical concept behind it, and then have you practice it at your own pace. So that means that while the fundamentals course is not definitely not short course, it's not going to take up so much of your time. In fact, if you were to sign up for the fundamentals course, the whole fundamentals course will take you about yeah, it'll take you about a year to finish. But you only spend an hour per week sitting in class. The rest of the time, you will be given activities to do, and you will be given challenges to practice what you learned, and then give it to the gabay, show it to the gabay for critique. Of course, not criticism, critique. We're looking to help improve. We're looking to help people improve their art. Okay, we're not interested in talking smack about your art, but we want to help you improve. Oh, thank you, Ralph Jason Tercero. Yes, the very funny story how we actually came up with that term for our teachers. The word gabay actually comes from a get ready to laugh, and this is super unrelated, but I got the word actually comes from a very good combat sports instructor named Gabay Forlales. And if you've ever met the guy, if you've ever seen him teach mixed martial arts, actually, he's literally a guide. And I thought, yeah, I think that's a good name for people who will be guiding students and future artists towards get realizing their potential and helping nurture their creative spirits, and hence the word gabay. From Emil Valdivia, Arthur, this one is for you now. Uh,
Yeah.
can we have a link of your portfolio? I,
Oh, sure.
can
I
just
can just write it here right now at the moment, so it's easier. Okay, there.
Everybody get ready to screen capture.
That's my website. Then slash art.
So yeah, don't forget to look him up. There's a lot of content. If you missed there, we were actually showing, we were flashing several of Arthur's artwork earlier before we actually started streaming. But if you missed that, please visit his website, and also please also visit our page, Degas PH. Sorry, I'm writing on your website, Arthur, but yeah, so we do have one question, a very interesting question from a very interestingly named person named, this is Chun Li Nativity. Now, why does that name sound familiar? How do you deal with art block? I try to practice every day, but I feel frustrated because I fail to come up with an output every day. This actually is a very good question. Thank you for asking it, Chun Li.
Okay, frustration. Story of my life. Get in. It's really. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I wake up, and I feel like, okay, I want to create sites, but I have no ideas. It's like I burn out with the inspiration. But what I do is I just really tune in some nice music, or like I watch something nice, and then it comes along. But of course, unless you're like super depressed or like some psychological problems, then you need to go deeper, maybe like read some special books or have an appointment with a psychologist. But I think the easier way, I mean, just get some inspiration. Like, think about, close your eyes and then think, what makes me happy, right? So sometimes it's food, sometimes it's dog, sometimes your boyfriend or girlfriend, and then just like restart your mind, and then just start to draw something. Like, you can even make some splashes or doodles, and then from there, just you start, because first thing you need to do is just to start. That's the same thing for everything, I believe. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. From my experience too, and this is natural to every artist. I do not believe that there are people who are naturally waking up and in the morning, stretching, and say, "You know what? I am going to create the next masterpiece in the art world." But there are like a million of us waking up every morning, scratching ourselves in the sides and saying, "I really should practice drawing. I think I'll try drawing." And in my experience, I do that, right? And I end up with pages and pages of just lines drawn from left to right and right to left with nothing else in mind. But don't worry. In fact, those lines, they're actually very, very useful. So if you're thinking that, but I didn't create anything really astounding today, that's not true. You didn't draw something astounding today, but you did help create something very good for that day. Every time you practice, you are creating a masterpiece, and that masterpiece happens to be ta 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 you as an artist.
Right, right.
Oh, hi Mon. Yeah, that's a very good. Thank you for giving me that feedback. That's on me. That's my bad. So, Degas PH is a Facebook page. I forgot to tell you all. I was not very clear. It's a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/DegasPH. If you're looking for our website, I might not have gotten around to making it yet. It's still under construction. We're on it. But if you visit our Facebook page, it's Degas PH, and our Instagram is Degas underscore PH because somebody beat us to Degas PH, which is why, again, if you're also looking, which is a tip, by the way, to you artists who are looking to make your own Instagram accounts, get on it before somebody beats you to your name. This is my serious face telling you right now. Register your username already. So yeah, but to tell you, Mon, and everyone else, it's facebook.com/DegasPH. Or if you're familiar with the meme, it's Degas. You're welcome, Mon. Uh, Next question for you, Arthur, from Emil Valdivia. Any advice on finding your own personal art style?
Yeah, sure. Uh, just follow the master's work. Look for the artists you like a lot. Try to copy them. Try to copy and imitate, and learn their style. And then you will come up with something new. Because there's no such thing as copying. I mean, it's not really a bad thing to do. You just really adjust it to yourself and then mix it with different styles. I mean, you can have different artists you like. Like, let's say you like some modernism or you like some impressionism, and then you like some traditional art, and then if you mix it all in your own unique way, you can create a name with this. So that's my advice. Just really go learn from the fundamentals, like academic stuff, painting, drawing, sculpting, and then from there you'll become more solid artist. Because I believe that if you wanna, I always say that like if you want to break the rules, you need to know the if you want to be an abstract artist, right? So it's easy. You think it's easy, right? Just like to splash some paint on the canvas and then you're an artist, right? Well, fair enough, but not everybody is a successful artist, right? So you need to really know the rules before you break them. That's my idea of art.
Yeah, I have to agree with Arthur there. Everything looks easy because the masters make it look easy. But you have to study them. Yes, Arthur is right. You do have to study them. And it actually follows for every art form there is. You have to study the master's techniques and then make it yours. A very classic example of this would be the Japanese tattoo, for example. When an apprentice tries to study under a master, right? They don't come to a master and say, "Master, I want to learn," and then the master would say, "Oh yeah, you have to pay me this much, so, and then I'll teach you." No, the technique is always going to be the masters will always tell their students, "Steal my techniques."
Oh, so
See? Exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. That's what you want to be doing. Steal. There's no such thing as copying. There's no such thing as stealing. There's really only just you expressing yourself in a very specific style.
Like just like open Google and go get some references and just copy. It, it's actually, when I go to Pinterest, actually that's my favorite site for the art source or inspiration. You'll just spend hours, which is actually a bad thing, right? Because it's like a waste of time. But there's so much content there. I get everything on Pinterest because it's just everything is there.
I agree with that. Just make sure that if you're going to copy someone's art style, of course, do not. There is still a when we're saying that we only mean that you should copy their techniques because they're very good, and you should use it as a springboard for your own artworks. There's a very fine line between appreciating a master's work and forgery. You do not want to be doing the second one.
Of
Of
course,
course.
I have to be careful with this. So, I'm like trying to experiment with different brushes, just like to. It's really matter of experimenting. Like if I know I want to have like a forest structure, I use the structure of this brush, which is like, let's see, it's like a wood, but who really cares what it is if it can give you some other effects?
So while we were all talking and answering questions, right, you may have noticed that Arthur's painting already has texture on it. So can you walk us through a little bit? Can you give us a little bit of background on the texture and how would you put like and that I think that's fur, right? And how would you? What's your approach into putting texture on drawings and paintings?
Same, just like I'm trying, because, well, I'm not trying, it's not a goal to make a realistic art here. It's more of a transitional one, right? But of course, you want to have some elements looking real. So like here, this girl, Asian looking girl, she's wearing this furry jacket, which reminds me pretty much the favorite fur jacket of my mom. That's why I drew it. But plus, I want to have like a contrast of the very messy strokes, which I'm doing now, because it's really easy to do, and then quite detailed face. But I still have the texture. I mean, you see the texture of the brush here on the face. I keep it. I don't want to smudge it because, I mean, what's the point? My idea of art is not really to make it super realistic, photorealistic, but just like you have a like artistic touch. So I like to keep those kind of strokes all around, like here, here.
All right, here's another question for you, Arthur, from Jem Salau Perez again. Another question about Arthur's artwork. Do you totally remove or hide the sketch layer, or do you paint over it?
Well, I paint over it. I have the sketch layer here, but it's almost not seen anymore. See, click. I don't need it anymore because there was like guidelines for me to the next layer. I can actually show you what I have now. So this is how I started. Then I had my color blocking, like the basic undertones on the colors. And I had my palette, and then I painted over it.
So yeah, it's a paint over. But to expand on that actually, and I think I kind of have an idea why you're asking this question. And my approach to the sketch layer, right, to the sketch line and to the sketch guiding lines. I personally sometimes I don't remove it because it's an aesthetic choice. If it's an aesthetic choice, by all means, if you think it works, if you think it looks good, if you're feeling it, I say let it stay there.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Like old masters works, like Leonardo da Vinci, which is my favorite. They like have like a nice masterpiece. It's framed already, or it doesn't matter. I mean, it's a really finished work. And then on the sides, there are sketches of like, let's say, arms, hands, legs, body parts, and it's it look even better. And people usually hunt for those sketches, not really for the main work, because that's tells the story, like how the artist learns, how does he see it.
So yeah, Jen, if you were gonna do not worry about your sketch layer, who knows? In the future,
You're fine.
You're fine. Yeah.
Well, depends what's
Depends
what's
the point of your art. If it's like commission, let's say of digital illustration or for the comic, of course it has to be clean, or for animation, yeah. But if you just experimenting on the styles and then you just draw in something nice, you don't have to worry about the guidelines, because guidelines would help you. But you see, like here, I have like underlines here, like this one, like here. But I'm not gonna remove it because it's almost not seen, and it's still like I want to keep like a feel of the drawing, so it's not just like copied or traced.
next question. Okay, from Eliza Annette Belhot Juanites. Her question is, hi, question. When you paint, do you turn the transfer setting on, or do you turn the opacity pressure on or off?
on the
On
brush,
the brush, I
I guess,
guess,
or on the
or on the
layer.
layer.
Not so
Not
sure
for
about
sure
the
about
question.
the question.
Yeah, that's yeah. We'll have. I'm going. We're going to need you to elaborate on that, Eliza. Do you mean on the brushes, or do you mean on the
I can
layer?
I can
explain
explain
on
on
both.
both.
So
So
on the
on the
layers,
layers, of course, I do 100% now because that's my way of painting. I don't really need to manipulate the opacity. But on the brushes, yeah, if you see here, you see at 31%. I play around with this a lot. Like if I want to have it really like solid color, that's the one. But usually I do like around half power to have like an undertone there. So that's why I have it opacity on the brush itself.
So yeah,
But that's my
But that's my
style.
style. Some people really use it like solid colors, and then some people like super um, transparent, translucent art, and then they play around with layers and the, like how transparent it is. Really different approach. But in my case, I play around more with brushes, not with layers.
So yeah, she actually just literally said that she was asking about the brush setting. So I think that answers your question, Eliza. Now me myself, I play around with the opacity of the layers because that's how sometimes that's how I play around with light. That's how I cheat around with lighting effects. When sometimes there will definitely be days when you say, "Yeah, I can do this as a paint on my painting. I can do this on my digital art." But right now, I'm kind of in a rush, and I think I can get the effect that I want just by playing around with my opacity and layers, over layers, under layers, and yeah. So me, I play around with the layer side. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, like Arthur said, it all depends on what you want to do with it and how you want to play around with it. Why not try both of them and explore?
Absolutely agree.
So, Arthur, you mentioned the old masters and you mentioned old masterpieces. Who are your idols? Who are your art idols and inspirations?
I love
I
Renaissance
love
art a
Renaissance
lot.
art a
That's
lot.
why I'm
That's
more
why
into
I'm
academic
more into
drawing and
academic
painting
drawing
because I
and
love
painting because I love
anatomy,
anatomy,
muscles, human body.
muscles, human body.
But of
But
course, I
of
also love
course, I
the
also
modern
love
art a
the
lot.
modern art a
But from
lot.
classical
But from
ones, I would
classical
say it's
ones, I would say
Leonardo
it's
da Vinci,
Leonardo da Vinci,
Raphael,
Raphael,
Michelangelo, those
Michelangelo,
famous
those
guys.
famous guys.
And then from
And then
modern,
from modern,
um, well, it's
um,
not that
well, it's
modern
not
anymore.
that modern
Andy
anymore. Andy
Warhol, then
Warhol,
Anish
then Anish
Kapoor,
Kapoor,
and then I also
and then
have
I
like
also
the
have
influence
like
from
the
Russian
influence from
traditional
Russian
art,
traditional
which is
art, which is
Malevich,
Malevich,
Bruegel,
Vrubel.
and in
And
Philippines, my
in
favorite
Philippines, my
artist would
favorite
be
artist would be
Zobel,
Zobel and
and
Amor
Amar
Sola
Sola
as
as
well.
well.
Yeah,
I love
that
Sanskrit.
too. That.
And the more solo. How about you guys? How about the viewers? How about you? What? Who are your drawing? Who are your art masters? Who are your art idols? It's this time around. It's me and Arthur asking you guys. We're turning the tables on you. Who do you like? Who do you follow? Oh, you're welcome, Eliza. And Eliza already has an answer for our question, Arthur. And her art idols are Marc Brunet and did I say that correctly? Marc Brunet, right? It's not Brunet, or is it Marc Brunet? I'm pretty sure it's French. And Feng Zhe, definitely not French. Mon Grajo
Mhm.
likes Frank Frazetta.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Adriel likes Kim Jong Gi.
Wow, sounds
Sounds
exotic.
exotic.
Sounds exotic. I think I'll have to Google that artist's works. Emil likes Ben Cab. Solid
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
choice. Alex Pardee and Mark Ryden. Aljero or Alhero is Eiichiro Oda and Ross Dross. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
These are
These are
great, of
great, of
course.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
So
so
many.
many.
There are a lot of art. There are so many art idols out there, and you can draw, inspiration from so many sources and so many people. Me personally, my art inspirations are actually, and I'm pretty sure you already have an idea of what inspires me because I've been talking about it at length actually. But my Mon Grajo also likes Malang paintings, by the way.
Yeah.
And Eman Kapukaw likes Bads Magsumbol and Bencab. We have another Bencab fan here in the stream. Ken Fauni likes Fernando Amorsolo. Hey, Arthur, you have a kindred spirit here in Ken.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, you can say that you're when it comes to being a fan of Fernando Amorsolo, the two of you are kindreds. Sorry, dad joke. So yeah, so yeah, my inspirations are actually tattoo artists and tattoo styles.
Why not? It's
Why not?
also
It's
art.
also art,
Diba?
diba?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It most definitely is. And a tattoo by its in and by itself is a very rich has a very rich heritage, and it's fraught with symbolism, and it's fraught with techniques, and it's always going zzz, zzz, zzz. So what's not
Some
to
kind
like,
of
Some kind
magic
of
in that.
magic in that.
right? What's not to like about it?
Mhm.
Okay, so Chun Li Nativity, such a unique name. I'm pretty sure I've. Why does this name look so familiar? Chun Li Nativity, like Sandro Botticelli. Oh, we have a classical master lover here. Yeah, great taste,
Great taste.
Great taste.
Absolutely agree.
Absolutely agree.
great taste, great taste. Botticelli, I like how Botticelli always renders the female figure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the best. I love it. Oh, Arthur, you're gonna love this one answer here. Roseanne de los Reyes says that one of her favorite masters is Arthur Tselishchev.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. So
wow.
nice to
So
hear.
nice to hear.
I'm not,
Yes, guys.
I'm not kidding. I have a screenshot of the comment right here.
I can
Oh,
I can say
Kilig.
kilig,
Kilig.
kilig.
kilig, kilig. Roseanne, great taste. Oh yeah,
Salamat.
Salamat.
very good taste. Okay, so we have more people who are now telling us who they love. Micaela Collantes says, now this, Micaela Collantes also sounds very familiar somehow. Victoria Ying, and mostly animation concept artists. Yes, I must agree with you there, Michaela. Animation concept artists. You don't really see a lot of their work until it's already for pressers of animated films, but man, they make some of the best artwork I have ever seen. Maya Bustamantes Tunaktok Arieta says Apo Wang Od. Oh yeah, yes, the old lady of if I'm not mistaken, she's in Buscalan, right? Yeah. Apo Wang Od happens to be the last of the Kalinga tattooers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we I actually got to know about her thanks to some friends of mine who helped make this documentary about her, the Ang Babae sa Likod ng Bambabatok. Tell me, did I get the answer right? My God, my friends are gonna kill me. So yeah, Wang Od. She's actually a national treasure, and I agree with that. And personally, I am happy that people are getting her tattoos because even if you're not, yeah, I know that even if you're not Kalinga, the meanings aren't going to be exactly the same as when a Kalinga headhunter gets the chevrons on their hands and you get it. You're not, of course, you're not getting it because you've taken like 17 heads. But if you're doing your part in keeping the heritage alive somehow, and you become a walking canvas, then I am all for it. I am all for it, especially for the cultural preservation aspect of it. Annie Krivko says that she loves rich color painting.
Wow, that's
Wow,
my
that's my
friend.
friend.
See,
Say it.
hello,
Hello,
Anna.
Anna.
Really?
She's very
She's very
talented
talented
makeup
makeup
artist.
artist. Yeah.
Ah, so there you have it, Annie.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
have
So we have
international
international
audience
audience
today.
today.
You have an international audience today. Yeah, those are everyone. It seems that everyone now is more than willing to tell us who they love. Jenny Monfero Boadilla says Van Gogh and Akira Kurosawa. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
these are the
These are the
masters.
masters,
the
right?
masters. I'm still waiting for someone to say Junji Ito though. So that while we're waiting for other viewers and other people who are watching, other streamers to tell us who they love, there are actually. I have another question for you, Arthur. So
Right.
Right.
I noticed that you already told us that you like painting Asians and Asian inspired motifs. But I have to be very specific with my question here this time around. And my question is, what's your favorite subject to draw?
I would
I would
say
say
human body.
human body.
You know,
You
Ah,
know,
I really
I
like
really like
concentrate on the
concentrate on
muscles.
the
That's why
muscles. That's why
I decided
I
to teach
decided to
anatomy.
teach anatomy.
So human
So
body,
human
human
body, human
faces,
faces,
yeah,
yeah, and architecture because that's what I studied.
yeah, you can never go wrong with that interest. By the way, for everyone who is watching right now, you really want to get your anatomy and your human body proportions and your drawings correct. Not just because this is the foundation, musculature is everything. There's actually a very weird. This is gonna sound weird again coming from me, but of course I'm a weird guy. But if you really want help with drawing the human body and getting all of the muscles correctly, there are several tips, of course, and I'm pretty sure Arthur is obviously going to agree with me here. Number one is you might want to start working out yourself.
oh
So,
yeah,
Oh
oh
yeah,
yeah, it's it's healthy. It's a health thing. We're not saying that you have to go out there and get all of the muscles popping and everything, right? But if you know what muscles you are moving and you know how you're moving a specific muscle, you're suddenly going to be able to draw it a lot better. And if you don't believe me, how many I'm going to ask you, how many of you have ever drawn facial expressions and found yourself making the same facial expression as you're drawing? Ever tried going while you're drawing the same face? Yeah, it's the same thing for the human body. Eloisa Garay says that she likes Salvador Dali. Oh, we have someone with taste here. Looks like we have,
mhm,
yeah, Salvador Dali. I like that artist. I like that guy. As a concept artist, I love him. He's, for me anyway, he's a walking example of there's no such thing as too strange, too weird, or too off kilter when it comes to getting the theme and the inspiration for when you are producing art. Although now I'm curious, do you like Dali more because of his paintings or is it more because of his experimental films? Eloisa?
well, let me fill the gap of the silence. Me personally, I love candle artists because those are artists who are sacrifice their career. I mean, they don't know the results, what they're gonna achieve, but they take a risk. So that's the most amazing thing that they are brave enough. And then one of the most favorite artists is Malevich. I already mentioned that. That's Russian-Ukrainian artist. And then my favorite masterpiece of him is Black Square. Not sure if you saw it, but why is it my favorite? It's basically just it's so easy. And usually people say that, okay, everybody can do this. But I always say, like, yeah, everybody can. I mean, no, they say, I can do this too. And yeah, you could, but you didn't, right? So he was the first one. That's why I like it.
Oh, I agree. When it comes to art, it's really, since it's expression, right? Art is the expression of self. And if you're not going to express yourself, if you're going to be very self conscious about, but it's just this, it's just that. This is too simple. This is too. Nobody's going to like this. Guess what? Somebody's going to do it before you did, and their people are going to say, this is genius, and then you're going to be regretting it for the rest of your life, thinking, yeah, I could have done this, but Arthur's right. Yeah, you could have done that, but you
You
didn't.
did.
So keep on doing it. Eloisa Gray says that she likes Dali because he explores on different subjects a lot. For some, they find it weird, but I just love surrealism. Oh yeah, and like Arthur said, there is nothing stopping you from doing it and exploring your ideas. That is to say, as long as they're legal. Mhm. Let's let's make it very clear. Oh yeah, but yes, explore that concept. Go for it. Try that method. If you're thinking that this is not going to work, how would you know, right? Go for it. Keep practicing. Keep on
You never know
exploring.
until you try.
Oh yeah. And by the way, I'm pretty sure that there are some of among our audience right now. Some of them are actually gabais, and they've actually some of them, maybe one or two of them, actually have been interacting with us too. And thank you a lot. Thank you, gabais, for being on this call and for supporting nuts. Salamat po sa suporta mga kaibigan. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention to everyone, of course, I mentioned that there will be a draw. There will be a simple raffle to win you again, I'm going to show this. Looks better on Arthur, but I'm going to show mine anyway. It's pretty sweet MSI t-shirt. Uh, so if you shared and liked this stream and used the hashtags, you stand to win a t-shirt. But aside from that, of course, we do have from our sponsor, a very generous sponsor, MSI, we have 5 lucky pens that they will be giving, that they have actually, now the winners actually, they are selecting from people who have been interacting with us. Armand Palillo, by the way, says that I like the art of my friend. Yeah. Can you tell us who this friend is? Maybe you can share a page. This is how exposure works. We're always happy to I think everyone is always happy to see a new artist and the artwork for this. Yeah, yeah. And a lady with sorry, I can't read Korean. Is it Korean or is it Japanese? Thank you for this too. You're welcome. So where was I again? Oh yeah, I was talking about the lucky pens. So there are 5 lucky styling pens, and the winners are actually going to be picked out from people who have been interacting with us. Eloy Sagaray says that she also likes Yoka. Oh, I have to. Interesting name. I think I have to Google that artist too. So let's see. Let's ask MSI from the background, of course, here in the behind the scenes. Who will be? I think we have 5 lucky winners for the lucky styling pen, and we will be announcing the winners later on during the Q&A. So you still have a chance to win one of the pens. This is an official pen from MSI, by the way. It has a cute little dragon topper on it. Personally, I wish I could win one, but I am the host, so
I also want one.
yeah, we also want one. MSI, we got free shirts. We're still asking for a pen. Yeah, I don't care. I want that pen. Bart Villarreal is now. Now people are commenting on Master Arthur. Bart Villarreal and lady with the Japanese name. Sorry, I cannot read Japanese, but don't worry. I'm not making fun of you. Bart and her, they are saying they like the style and the texture is just lovely.
Salamat po.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. By the way, this is great, isn't it? It's like looking at a canvas right now.
Yeah,
As I mentioned,
like,
that's my idea. I like to keep my pipeline the same way as I do with the painting on canvas. So nothing really different,
except we have
except we have some little tricks to
speed up the process.
speed up the process.
Ooh. Gotta try that out myself. Oh, thank you, lady with the Japanese name, LWTJN. Thank you, LWTJN, for telling me Yoka is a Filipino painter known for bright colors but with a dark twist. Ooh, now I really want to look him up. Ras Jason Tercero just said Bekenemen. Yan din na sinabi ko kanina, Bekenemen, but Arthur and I are in the show, so we can't win. Hopefully you do, though. Good luck. Rinchan says everyone should share their pages. I'd love to check everyone out. Yes, I agree with you, Rinchan. All of you, you really all should be. Yeah, this is actually a very good avenue, or this is a very good time for you to be sharing your pages, your websites, your IG accounts for your art. Uh, Promote yourself now and get discovered. You never know who's out there looking for the next artist. Bart Villarreal, thank you for telling me. The lady with the Japanese name is Miss Bev Mayo. Thank you. Is that how you read Bev Mayo in Japanese? Jem Salau Perez comments, the artwork's looking really great already, and I can't believe it's been almost done under 2 hours. Also, thank you for
Actually,
me.
yeah, I'm checking. I'm thinking when should I stop already because I can do it forever. But I can still finish some finishing touches.
Take your time, sir. Take your time. Yeah, he's also saying, also thank you for making this live possible. Looking forward to more in the future. Oh, she, by the way. Oh, yeah, well, Jem, you know what? So are we. So are we, especially us Degas guys. So are we. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to have a lot more of these later on. So Bev Mayo confirms that yes, it is Bev Mayo. Thank you. Eloisa Garay says, yeah, Yoka also does art installations. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Maria Ayla Tipolo says, Sana, and I'm pretty sure that this has something to do with the pen. We also said that, Sana. Arthur and I are saying it right now, but we're told to just run the show, guys. Just run the show. Raylin Becerro, liked and shared. I also share Wacom FB Lives to my niece and sister-in-law. They're both young, aspiring artists. Yes, Raylin, thank you very much. We are all here, especially us in Degas. We are in the business of nurturing aspiring artists, new artists, young artists, artists who are starting later in life. We are always looking out for them, and we want, again, our mission is to nurture the creative spirit in people. So if you want to contact us about this, yes, please do. We'd love to be able to help you out. Ken Fauni says done sharing and liking Wacom Philippines. Thank you, Ken. Eliza Annette Belhot Juanites. Oh, she shared her IG. It's Eliza Juanites. Well, I think I will whip up my cell phone and look for that Instagram account right now and give her a follow.
See, this is how easy it is now. With all the technologies, with the streaming, just guys keep promoting yourself, become friends, create social circles.
Yes. See, this is what Arthur said. This is it in practice. You just keep on telling people about yourself, giving them an opportunity to see your art, exposing them to your art, exposing them to how you express yourselves, and being open to how other people express themselves. Oh, Eliza, why you drink my milkshake? But I'm following you anyway, girl. And John Katoy Jack. I found you, man. I found you. a comic and manga artist, and a software engineer. I am looking at your artwork right now, sir. Not bad at all. I am following. Alhero is saying, Arthur, you looking at his artwork makes me jealous. I will eventually get there. You are now one of my inspirations, Mr. Arthur. Thank you.
Thank
Dude,
you.
don't get jealous. We all get there. Just really keep drawing, keep working on your art, and then you'll become better than me.
Yeah, I agree. Keep on practicing, and you will all be on the same level. Bev Mayo has shared her IG. Oh, well, you know what? While Arthur is painting, I'll be taking this time to follow people on Instagram because why not?
Where I can
Right,
share
I can share my Instagram.
Yeah, why don't you share your Instagram? You're also going to laugh at me, Arthur, but I kind of forgot to mention to everyone that here at the footer of here at the footer of the feed, you can actually see Arthur's website written. I just forgot to tell people about it. Sorry, everyone. But now Arthur gets to tell you what his IG account is, and I say go and have a look at his IG and go and follow. Also, go and follow Degas underscore PH on Instagram. There's not much there yet, but what do you expect from an account that was only created 7 hours ago? Yeah, I'm fast like that. And again, learn from
Yeah.
Ronan. If you
For more
have,
More
updates
updates.
from the account.
Account.
yeah, learn from me. If you have a name, register it already because somebody might beat you to it. Emil has shared his deviant art. I will be opening you in a different window and be perusing you later on. Michaela Collantes has shared her. Oh, Michaela has a website. Buti ka pa. Degas will get there. It's ellart.com. Michaela, am I correct in assuming that you are a sticker artist? I think I have encountered you in StickerCon once. Okay. Let's see. More sites, more people are sharing their sites now. That's great. I love it. Alhero, you really have. I don't know how you're going to correct me here, but I really want to get your name. I really want to pronounce your name correctly because it's bothering me that I might be mispronouncing it, and I don't like that. Jay Hook Dong is saying such a great talent, Arthur. How to be you po?
Salamat
So
po.
just keep drawing, keep experimenting, learn from the artists you like, and yeah, keep copying them, and then eventually invent your own style.
There you have it. Just keep on practicing. Eloisa Garay has shared her Instagram, IG art.eloisa. At this stage, Arthur, I think you're the only person who hasn't shared his Instagram.
Can you
Can
share
you
it?
share that?
Because I have
Because I have no access to your
Yeah,
chat,
chat,
guys.
guys.
you want to write your username down a little quickly on the canvas
So I
there.
can do it here.
I can do
I
it
can do it
here.
here. Sarah?
Arthur,
Yes.
yes,
Official.
official.
That's my
That's my
Instagram.
Instagram.
There you go. Give him a look and give him a follow, guys. A lot of good content there. Oh, there. I found Eloisa Garay's IG. Follow. Oh, this is interesting. Eloisa, if I'm not much mistaken, this is. Oh, dang. Okay. The lines were so crisp that I thought that these were AI portraits. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I thought they were. You have to give this. You have to look at this later, Arthur.
We'll make sure to check it out.
Yeah, check it out. It looks. I thought at first glance it looked like something that was created in AI. The line work is that crisp. Rinchan says, Zendi. Okay. Somebody's tagging their friends here. Thank you, Refizul Irinko Marzan. Thank you for sharing this to your friends. Yes, tell all of your friends. Nabulol na ako. Tell all of your friends about this. Tell all of your friends about us, and hopefully we'll be having more of these. Rinchan says, "Whoa, already done in 2 hours. My artwork always takes more than a week. Don't worry about it." Uh, what do you have to say about that, Arthur?
It's okay because
Okay,
you know
because
I also
I
have
also
like
had like really long process for some artworks. Like recently, I'm working on the painting, and it's like 1 month already too. And then that's fine because it's really well because that technique is new. I'm painting the seascape. It's really there are the waves and the light, the all the gradients, and then yeah, most of the colors. Have a hard time with this, but I'm gonna post it one day soon. Finish, but it's not about the speed really. It's about your approach, and then as long as you enjoy it, doesn't matter. You can paint it for ages. But of course, like it's really because I cannot really sit on the chair for like 3 hours straight. I have to move around. That's make everything fast. Like I paint fast, I design fast, and it's about speed now. I mean, like our lifestyle is changing now, so that's why I'm trying to adjust to. But that's fine if you really take a longer time than others.
Personally, I must agree with that one too. The longest piece that I have ever worked on is a commission given to me by my friend. It actually took me a good. You're gonna laugh at this. It took 7 years.
Wow.
wow,
Wow.
Well,
that's
That's
really
really
long.
long.
that's really long.
But why not?
Yeah, it took 7 years because you never actually know. This was a tattoo design, by the way. You never actually know when it changes. If things change, artwork changes, art styles change. The person who's been commissioning you, their tastes change. So yeah, it's not again what Arthur said. It's not the speed. As long as you just keep on working on it. Maria Isabel Marquez says, I've been using my Wacom tablet for 3 years now. Her IG is Cmyk Art, read as Cmyk Art. Oh, well, maybe I should have read that first before going Cmyk Art. Cmyk Art. I can see. Followed. Katoy John says, I can't seem to remove line art as my main style. Would that be okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a different kind of art, sketching, and like the big masters, they really do only the sketching, and that's actually has more value sometimes if it's actually good. Yeah, me personally too. I really like to stop on the sketching rather than have the whole painting done.
Yeah, there's, especially I personally, me, I like it as an aesthetic choice. Sometimes I really do leave it there. Uh, my guidelines, there are, if you're actually wondering, a very good example of an artist who leaves his line art in his work and then actually incorporates it as part of the finished product. There's this one tattoo artist that I follow on IG, and it's a very cool concept. But basically, his tattoos tell the story of how he designs the tattoos, right? So from line art to composition, there will be areas of his tattoos that are just bare line art, and then there will be areas of his tattoos that are going to be fully rendered out, and it is amazing. So don't worry about it, John. Oh, Bev, I'm already following you on IG. Everyone follow everyone, all of the IG accounts that you see here, by the way. Rinchan. Rinchan's IG is rinrin.png. That's a I like that name actually. This is pretty cool. Oh, Rin, I like your art style. Oh, followed. Eloy Sagaray says still learning anatomy. Hope to paint like that soon. Don't worry. Keep practicing. Keep at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and find an interest of yours that will allow you to understand the concepts of anatomy. For it differs for people. Okay, some people they use medical books as references because they like seeing drawings, anatomical drawings, and then they copy it. Other people they actually my personal approach is I went into combat sports, go into MMA. Maybe that'll work for you. Give it a try. Basically, if a part hurts, and yeah, if a part of my body hurts, I'll know how to draw it because I know exactly the shape of it. Because okay, so it's my entire thigh now. Oh, so this is what it looks like. How do I know? Kasi yung pasa, kasi laki na ng hita ko. Kidding. But yeah, exercise helps. You might want to try it. Don't worry about it.
Wow.
Like
In my case, yeah, how did you learn anatomy? Of course, by books, of course, by teachers, yeah. Then drawing, of course, like observing the models. But a lot of it, I think, took the working out at the gym. Like, and you try and analyze what muscles is working, which muscle do you need to grow bigger if you want. And this is how it works to me. I mean, I really observe it from the mirror, from myself. So, like, I work out at night and then draw in the morning.
I agree with that. Yep, that works. It's actually very effective. Ralph Jason Tercero says, too bad I don't have an IG. Ralph, I am speaking directly to you. Make your IG now. I'm looking
Should
at
have before it's too late.
yeah. If there's anything you're going to learn from this stream, make your IG now, dude. Make it now.
I mean, really, some people really
try to stay away from that, from all the social media. And then,
well, fair enough
for some people. But
really,
if you want to
be discovered
by someone, or if you want to share your talent with people, and then especially with those who appreciate it,
why not
use social media? It's a really great outlet.
Yeah. Make it work for you, man. Make it work for you.
Yeah, it
doesn't work.
Yeah, worst case scenario, if it doesn't work well, you didn't pay anything to make your IG account. Maya Bustamante, Estonaktok Arieta says, I love the face. She looks like a mature Mulan. Ang husay mo, Sir Arthur, nakaka-inspire ka daw.
Someone really got it right.
Because I was thinking of Mulan,
yeah, that's true.
But I
didn't want to draw Mulan as Mulan because what's the point?
But
one of my like the picture from my mood board was Mulan as well.
Okay,
I have my mood board.
One is
the jacket, like the fashion. Then the face, very Asian face. Then the bird. And then the color palette as well.
Hey, okay, we have a question. I'm going to break off a little bit from the comment section to read this one question, and this one is from Roseanne de los Reyes again. Her question is, she would like to ask your opinion about this. Is the talent for art acquired or learned? Is it nature or nurture? What makes one better than the other? I'll have Arthur answer this first.
Yes, please. I always say here, practice pa more, because really the talent, you can have like all the skills, but it's really with the if you really love it, you can learn it, and I believe you can do it with anything. I mean, really, you can try a lot, but it's also in a matter of good teachers, because I've been in different schools. I mean, I was when I was a kid. And I was almost kicked out from one art school because they said I had like an entry exam, and they said you cannot I mean, kids cannot draw like this. Probably he used the carbon paper, like to trace, right? I drew on that exam something like a weird creature coming out from the ground, wearing the shades, like very, but it wasn't my mind. So my mom, when she heard it, she's like, no, 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 you shouldn't study in school like this because people don't really. This is an art school; they're not supposed to treat kids like that, right? So and then they brought me to another school. I was accepted, but then there were like really boring classes with painting or with color science, where we had to do like segments of the colors and make them super nice and perfect and very accurate. I got so bored because again, I cannot really do something for a long time. And then the director of the school called my parents. They say maybe it's better if he goes to the musician school because he might be wasting his time here. It doesn't look like he's enjoying this. And I get so frustrated, and then I get really pissed off with that. Well, I was already, what, maybe 14, 13 years old. And then, because I knew about this, it's actually motivated me to prove them opposite. So I told them, okay, I'm going to show them that they're wrong, because I got offended by this. And then the next year, I was winning all the international art competitions through this school, because we had lots of options for this. One in Macedonia, another one in Japan, and then I got like diploma with honor. So, I mean, it's really a matter of teachers. The teachers have to really see the talent in you. I mean, if you have it. And if you're not, they just have to really direct you in the right direction. Really lots of comments from the teachers. And then I went, after art school, I went to the university. I was studying design. And then I had really brilliant teachers there for the academic drawing and academic painting. And then they shared with me those secrets which you would never get by yourself or like from internet or from libraries. It's like their personal experience. And then I still use the knowledge they give me until now when I paint something. So it's really, really about the teachers and motivation too. And the talent, I think it's really subjective. I mean, you can really do a lot now because people always ask me like, what else you cannot do? Well, like I can say I cannot sing because this is really a thing I hate to do. But if I want to learn it, I'm sure I could do it. So everybody can do this. I think I had a long speech.
I have no, that is correct. I have to agree with that answer. Yeah, to for that for that question, is it nature or nurture? I always believe it's nurture, and I also believe it's nature. Though, if you were to ask me, everyone is born an artist. Everyone is born knowing how to draw, and if you don't believe me, go and watch a 2-year-old write on the walls. Okay, everybody is born wanting to express themselves visually, and we believe that. Okay, even if it's they're just playing, if if they're what you call messing around, they are always just doing that. That's art. For me, that's art. That's expression of self, and you know, it's just a matter of nurturing that spirit. It's just a matter of making sure that you're always allowed to express yourself. I mean, technical skill, it's always there. It's always going to be taught, and that's important. But aside from that, aside from imparting technical skill, you have to make sure that an artist or our future artist here is able to express themselves creatively. It's a safe space that they can tell their stories, show their drawings, and that's funnily enough, that's actually the reason why we came up with DEGAS, when we came up with the school, because we believe that art is more than just it's more than just what you produce. It's more than just what makes people applaud for you. It's actually nurturing the spirit in you that makes you creative, that makes you curious, that makes you resilient, that makes you keep on going, that you keep on getting up in the morning and practicing your art. Those are what we want to develop inside people. That's what the school is all about. So yeah, that long-winded answer to the question. Yes, nature yes, nurture yes, both. Okay, this is an interesting name. Cmyk. Okay, Kamisen. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Do you always redo your artwork if you feel unsatisfied with it?
Redo? I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? If I always redo the art, if I'm not satisfied with
Yeah.
it?
Do you redo your artwork?
Never.
Never. Never. That's why I like, I used to do watercolor, and think about it. Why do I like it? Because you only have one chance to create something. So if you messed it up, then you better start a new one, but you cannot fix it. That's why I like it. And then I apply this for anything I do now, because I'm not trying to redo it. I'm just trying to fix it. And this is how it works. I mean,
Yeah, I have to agree with Arthur there. If you're talking about redoing your artwork because you're not happy with it, that's basically saying that you're basically telling yourself that my art is not good enough. It has to be good enough before it becomes art. No, that's not true. What you made is art. If you're not happy,
just don't stress too much about it because it's art. I mean, you have to really enjoy it.
yes,
Unless it becomes work.
yeah. If you're not happy with it, make it again, make it again, make it again, make it again.
But I wouldn't really say redo it. I mean, if this is works for you, then just have it fixed.
Okay, Alhero says, I love it when these guys let the viewers share themselves. That is the beauty of being artists. Yes, that's actually what we are all about. You always allow people to express themselves. That's how it is. That is art. Ken Fauni says, looks stunning. How can we get an autograph? Well, as Arthur's manager, kidding. Arthur will have to answer that one himself. PM na lang siguro, sis. Yeah. Eloisa says, oh, thank you for following us, Eloisa. Just, the content is coming too. Realin Bracero has also shared her. Oh, thank you for sharing those IG accounts. I will. You know what? This is me. I'm whipping out my phone again, and of course, you can see. You can't see it. I am once again on IG, and I am once again looking at people to follow, artists to follow. Ooh, okay, I see. Lexa Dalan followed. She is. How old is your niece? Realin? This is pretty. I'm pretty impressed. Michaela says, "Yes, I am a sticker artist." And look, she shared her. She shared her IG story. Oh, that's so cute. Do you look like this in real life, Elala? Eliezer de Guzman says, "This tutorial helps me a lot. I'm new in digital painting." Yeah, he says he's new in digital painting. He's still practicing and still studying digital painting. He does have an MSI-powered desktop PC and a Wacom pen tablet. Looking forward for more tutorial from you guys in the future. Oh yeah, we're also looking forward to giving you more tutorials, man. So yeah, follow DEGAS PH on Facebook and contact us for more in-depth tutorials.
For tutorials,
Yeah.
I'm also gonna work on lots of new tutorials on my YouTube channel, so check it out. Mostly about classical art and also the digital too.
Yeah, I think we should give your YouTube link to everyone later for always like, well, when Arthur said always be stealing from the masters, look at his YouTube. Start stealing from him. Oh, what happened to the camera?
Oh, that's my laptop. Yeah, that's my laptop. Sorry.
I thought it fell.
No, it's okay.
Okay, this is a pretty unique request, Arthur. Kaz Ara is saying, please share your Photoshop brush collection.
I can recommend the names of the brushes, yeah, of course. But those brushes I have, I'm not so sure if I'm allowed to share them.
But I can
but
give
I can give you the names of them, so you can just find them in the internet.
I think that would be wise. But yeah, to answer your question, Kaz, yeah, he will be telling you the names of the brushes and the brush packs. Maria Isabella Marquez has shared her IG, and let's give you a look and oh, I already followed you. See my art. Yeah, I am following you already. Okay, so Aljero finally corrected me. Thank you. It's Aljero Grape. Okay, thank you, Mr. Grape. I am terrible with names. I am terrible with names. Bart Villarreal has shared his account. It's it's his art station. I don't have an art station though, dude. Maria Ayla Tipolo, Ilart 15, totally beginner. That's where we all started. And some of us, and I'm not going to name certain hairless people in the stream, may or may not have stayed there at that level. So don't worry about it. At any rate, follow. Let's see here. Lois is just beginning to draw digitally. Don't worry about it. Like Arthur keeps saying, practice, practice, practice. Keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. Hey Arthur, there's a request. Somebody wants to see. Can you show your machine, the MSI machine that you're using right now? People want to see the hardware that you're using right now. Is there a way for you to aim your camera?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course, I can do that.
Well, let me try
let
to
me
do
try
this.
to do this.
So that's
So
my
that's
computer.
my computer.
Now that looks
I
cool.
can, yeah, that's my drawing
That's my
already.
drawing
Saved
already. I
here.
saved it here.
This is us.
This is us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
So
light
it's pretty
computer.
light
You
computer.
see
You
the specs
see
here.
the specs here.
Can you see it?
Can you see
Well,
it well?
clear.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Okay.
So it's pretty powerful laptop. I know it was meant for gaming, meaning it's strong enough, and then it's so light and so thin, which I like. So it's like a business laptop, but with the game specs. I think our partner is gonna talk more about it later. And then for the Wacom, let me try to move it here. This is the tablet I was using today.
Ooh.
It's pretty powerful too. I like the design, slick and thin, so nice. And it also has the legs, so you can put it on the table. And this is the pen I was using as well.
Ooh. There we go. So yeah, guys. Well, it's a good thing that Arthur's the one doing this. He has a professional-looking office and everything. But don't worry about it. If your home setup, for example, and I know that everybody's going to be more or less worried about their home setup nowadays, especially everyone's homebound, right? Uh, don't worry too much about it. Which by the way, you can contact MSI and Wacom for your requirements, of course, and these are all very, very, very recommended hardware and tools for you to use. But yeah, don't worry too much about your home setup. I know if you can only see my home setup, the only nice thing about it is that I have a lazy boy in my chair, but that's about it. I have an SM table. So, more comments. Corinne says she temporarily stopped making digital art because she left her graphics table in QC during the lockdown. Yeah, hopefully you get it back, man, and keep on making art.
I think Ron,
I think Ron,
maybe we can move
maybe we
over
can
to
move already to Q&A part and also talk to our partners because I think I'm quite done with my artwork already.
No,
Can you
yeah,
s-
Can you s-
yeah, we can. So yeah, for the next
Yeah.
part, I think our partners, Wacom and MSI, will be speaking a little bit for everyone who are curious about the setup, the hardware, the. I think they can explain a little bit more about what you used, Arthur. So I think on our call we have Caleb John Nicolas from Wacom. So don't worry, guys. If we go away, by the way, this is now Arthur's finished artwork. It took a little under 2 hours, and I know we're all impressed. And on our call, we'll be having a quick Q&A with everyone anyway after this, so we'll be reading a bit more of the comments. If I didn't get to read your comments yet, don't worry. Our next speaker is actually Caleb John Nicolas from Wacom. So Arthur, I will be shifting away from you for a bit, sir. I'll see you in a little bit. Caleb.
Oh, hi, Ronan. Good afternoon. Oh, good evening na pala. Sinabi tayong gabi. So, ayun, so by the way, I'm Caleb John Nicolas. So, I'm currently the marketing manager of WACOM Philippines. So, this will be quick lang din naman since already na has explained naman rin how does Wacom work. So, I just wanted to recommend some products as well. So, let me share my screen. All right. So, can you guys see my screen? Ronan?
Technical difficulties, everyone. Give me a moment. No. Let me just quickly get that. Sorry, everyone. Let's try this again.
All right. How about now? Now.
There we go. We can see you now, Caleb.
Alright, so this will be a quick presentation lang naman din. Firstly, I just wanted to recommend you guys the pen display that Arthur has been using throughout our live today. So just to remind guys, so this is the newest and also the most affordable pen tablet that Wacom
And when you buy this,
year.
comes with
And when you buy this, comes with a free software of Corel Painter Pro. Yep. And also, it can work on your Mac, Android, and also on your Windows. So yun lang guys, and another one. So this is a model na specifically made or designed for the beginners, especially mga gusto mag-start ngayon ng digital, which Arthur and also Ronan recommended for you to start right now, especially mga gusto talagang or for those who want to express themselves. So I can recommend you the Wacom Intos. So once you buy this, you can also download several free softwares depending on your model na nabili nyo. So it's available in 3 colors. You have the charcoal black, pistachio green, and berry pink. And also, last but not the least, we just wanted to remind everyone who owns a Wacom Intos to join our short social media campaign. So this will run from July 1 to August 20. Check our page for the full mechanics. Pero ang pinaka-brief lang siguro doon, just take a photo of your workspace together with the Intos na hina-highlight together kung paano mo siya gamitin. Whether you will be an online teacher, a student, a professional graphic artist, or freelancer, pwede ka mag-join dito. Basta you own a Wacom Intos. So we will be picking the winners, and we will announce it by August 30. And so the first place will have a 2,000 Sodexo GC. Second place will be 1,000, and third place will be 500 pesos GC. So yun lang guys, just wanted to remind na free pa rin for entries. Open pa rin for entries. Alright? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Caleb. Again, I had a lot of technical difficulties. I did not realize that you had slides. Oh,
Oh,
God.
sorry. Pero
Oh,
ayun lang
sorry,
din.
sorry.
Pero I just wanted to remind lang to recommend yung WACOM 1 and social media campaign. Also yung social media campaign natin. Yep.
Sorry, Caleb.
Smarter. Yep.
Yeah, but I gave everyone
Okay, it's okay. No problem. Okay. It's okay.
I gave
Forget to
everyone.
mention din pala earlier. Forget to mention din pala earlier nung nagkakaroon tayo ng tech
So
run.
sorry about that. But our next speaker, Ira James Garcia, is from MSI. And before we go to him, I am going to have to confirm that we have, if he has slides.
Yeah, I have a short presentation then actually. So, but I'm sharing my screen now, if you can see it.
So Ira, give me a moment to capture your screen.
All right.
And I can see your screen now. Shared screen. Okay.
So we good?
We good?
Just resizing it a little bit for everyone's use, sir. And we're good.
All right. So hi everyone, James. I'm the product marketing for MSI. So I'm sure that a lot of people know is that gaming brand, but we also cater to the business people and creative professionals. So I'm just gonna do a short presentation on some of the product line business aimed for the business people and also the creative professionals. I'll start with the highest tier. Since we have three kinds of content creation apps as we call it. So the highest tier would be the P65 creator, the creator series, or the next one would be the prestige series, and the entry level content creation laptop would be the modern series. So talking about the P65 creator, it's the highest spec. It's very similar to the gaming laptop namin na GS65 Stealth. So it's the same body, but with a little bit of difference when it comes to the design. As you can see, it's in space gray, and it's also got the GeForce RTX graphics. So people would ask me, why would we put a gaming graphics card on a content creation focused laptop? And it's very simple. NVIDIA has released what they call the Creator Studio or RTX Studio drivers, which you can install on this graphics card for it to be more optimized for content creation workloads. For example, Adobe Photoshop, Premiere, Resolve, and all of that. So the GeForce RTX Studio drivers are more optimized. Then if you want to go back to gaming, you can actually use this machine also for gaming. Just install the gaming drivers na provided ng NVIDIA. So it also has the ninth generation Core Intel processors. So it will go up to Core i9 and Core i7. So it's going to be an 8-core, 16-thread part. And it's going to be super light. So 1.8 kilograms in its slim form factor. And it will also come in up to a 4K panel, which is factory calibrated out of the box with 100% Adobe RGB and with different color modes. And it can support up to 64 gigs of RAM. So battery life is very promising also. So it's got an 82 watt hour battery capacity that will allow you to have productivity up to 8 hours a day. Then of course, some creators would need the Thunderbolt input and output. So with the Thunderbolt port kasi you can actually use it as a display port output up to 8K resolution. And it will allow you to have, I'm sure some people will be familiar with this, the dongle life. So you can actually use one dongle for the Thunderbolt port, and it will support multiple USB inputs and even display port output. So for the specs, we have different series available right now. So it will come in Core i7s or Core i9s with up to GeForce RTX 2070 graphics. And of course, it will have two M.2 SSD slots. So I'm going to skip to the Prestige series. So this one will come in mineral white and carbon gray So same story as the other creator laptop. It will come with an Intel Core processor, and it will also have NVIDIA graphics. And this one will come in carbon gray or silver. So it will be the most longest battery life in the series. It will provide you with productivity up to 10 hours. And also it's very light. I'm sure we can show the laptop later on screen. So it's 1.19 kilograms, ultra light. And of course, it's got a premium build with all metal. So actually, all of those laptops that I presented kanina, it's all using the aluminum chassis. Then of course, thin bezels for screen real estate, and factory calibrated out of the box, close to 100% sRGB using an IPS panel. And of course, I mentioned earlier, battery life. So with the Core i7 10th generation processors, it will provide more performance up to 6 cores, and also more efficient energy savings when you are unplugged. So for the specs, this one will come with GeForce MX 250 or integrated Intel Ultra HD graphics. So a little bit of talk on the software side, because in the MSI gaming part, we have the Dragon Center, which helps you optimize your system resources to a specific game. And for the content creator series, we have the Creator Center for you to have a more optimized creative workflow. So it provides a creator mode and a system tuner functionality. So as you can see on the screen right now, system tuner will give you can set to different presets, whether you want high performance, if you want faster rendering time, or balance if you want a balance of that battery life and performance, or silent mode if you're in meetings, and also super battery if you need to save your battery for outside meetings or if you're traveling while working. And the creator mode, it will optimize your own creating environment. So it will optimize the GPU performance for that rendering boost when using CUDA acceleration. And it will also provide memory cleaner, and of course, a VIP express lane. So it's an application priority so that you don't have to set affinity to the CPU cores itself for a designated app that you're working on. So that's it for me. So MSI is not only made for gamers, but we are also made for creators. And if any of you guys are interested in the products that I've shown earlier, you can drop a message in the MSI Facebook page. And we also have all the specs listed also in the FB shop that we have. So that's it for me.
Thanks, Ira. Yeah,
All
again,
right, thank you.
what Ira said, it's not just for gamers, it's also for creators. I totally agree with that. MSI user here. Uh, so we'll be moving, of course, to the Q&A question here, to the Q&A portion of our evening now, and we are also going to announce the winners of our lucky pen winners. So we'll be having Arthur, and so let's just activate everyone here. Oops, sorry. Oh, okay. So it looks like okay. So I if do you have any other questions or comments or things that you want to ask from the gentlemen here, from Arthur, Caleb, and Ira, and of course me. Why am I?
Ask away.
Ask away. So Bev just says thanks. Okay, so there is a question here from Maricar Manalo for Arthur. Hi Arthur, where did you learn digital arts? Did you start designing or started from another course? Like for example, architecture.
Yeah. Okay, as I mentioned already, I studied in the art school first. That was just traditional art, like painting, drawing, and sculpture. And then after that, I was studying in university, which is like an academic part of it. But we didn't really study digital art, so I just studied it by myself, all here in the Philippines.
Okay, let's just, I think we should add, let's add this gigantic version of you here, just so they can still see you, because it's a little, there we go.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Let me just fix this up. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so other questions, please. So Arthur is over there in his little circle now. Yeah, I know it's echoing. Sorry, everyone. That's my bad. Eloisa says that she loves how interactive this session is. Yeah, so do we. Now that all we need is to print, frame, and display. I think they're talking about your artwork, Arthur. Yeah, looks like people will be buying what you made here.
Yeah, you can print it
You
out.
can print it out.
Post it
I can
too.
post it too. Yeah.
So other questions, guys? So if there are no questions or comments anymore, I think we can get to the next part of our Q&A. Don't worry, guys, if you can't think of any questions right now, or all of your questions were already asked, don't worry about it, because you can still ask future questions from us. You more or less already know DEGAS, and you more or less already know Arthur and WACOM and MSI anyway. We're all here to answer your questions. So I think one of the more exciting parts of this event, aside from Arthur painting, of course, is I think the winners of the pens. You're welcome, Eloisa. Yeah, and thank you for asking questions. So I think we have winners here now, and we are going to announce the winners of the Lucky Styling Pens from MSI. So if you hear your name, please, okay, here we go. Give me, because there's a requirement, I think that you'll have to message MSI about this. If you hear your name, message MSI. The names are the winners of 3 Lucky Styling Pen. Hey, Arthur Tselishchev and Ronan Espinueva. Arthur, we're lucky. Kidding.
Wow.
So no, the winners are Jem Salao Perez, Emil Valdivia, and Eloisa Garay. And who else? Adriel Arlan Omboy and Just Ven. So those are the 5 winners of the Lucky Styling Pens. Jem Salao Perez, Emil Valdivia, Eloisa Garay, Adrian Arlan Omboy, and Ven. So Arthur, I think we'll have to hold another session so we could actually win one of these pens. And of course, I did mention an MSI shirt. And our lucky winner for the MSI shirt is actually Jomar Miko Claudio. Jomar Miko Claudio, you have won an MSI shirt. Now, there will be an official announcement. Don't worry, guys. Kindly message MSI Facebook with the following details. Give them your name, your address, and your contact number so they can actually send the items to you. And guys, congratulations for winning the prizes. So congrats, congrats, congrats. Thank you. Goodbye, Ronan, and goodbye, Arthur. You're welcome. So Ralph Jason Tercero just thanked us. You're welcome, actually. There are several goodbyes in the call. We're the only ones that you can see, but they're there. They're amongst you. So thank you, Wacom. Rielin says, thank you, Wacom, Ronan, and Arthur. Hoping for more FB Lives. So are we. And MSI as well. Thank you, Rindao, MSI. Thank you for... So yeah, I think if you do not have... Oh, Rinchan says, thank you for this session. I was able to discover artists. See, Arthur's advice already working. Okay, so your guys, again, thank you for giving us your time. Thank you for joining us in our first live session. I know there are a lot of, shall we say, kinks in the programming, but at least we're there. We're getting there, and hopefully, I get a lot smoother in the next subsequent sessions. Thank you also, Arthur, for doing this with us. Thank you, Wacom and MSI, for sponsoring this. And when will be the next session? That's a good question. I stay tuned, mga kaibigan, abangan. So with that, I think, it's almost 7 p.m. anyway, so that's already 3 hours of your time you've already given to us. So thank you for attending. Thank you for setting aside time, and wait for our next announcement for when our next live is. Until then, I am Ronan Espinueva with Arthur Tselishchev, Caleb John Nicolas, and Ira James Garcia from DEGAS, WACOM, and MSI, signing off.
Thank you.